Josh Green here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by WBA Bantamweight champion. It's Nina Hughes. How are you doing, Nina?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Very, very well. And some fight news in the diary for you against Cherneka Johnson coming up. A trip over
Yeah.
to Australia. I mean, for yourself, it's really exciting times at the moment.
Yeah, really excited. It's been a long time coming waiting for a fight. Been obviously inactive for some time now, so yeah, just itching to get back in the ring and yeah, trip down under as well. So
How has that time been where you've been waiting for a fight, waiting for that phone call?
yeah, it's been hard because it's frustrating because you're training like you're half in camp because they've been giving you rough dates that you think you're fighting. So everything's been like, oh, aiming for October, aiming for November. So you are kind of in camp, but then when it doesn't happen, obviously it's quite hard because you put everything into those camps. But yeah, finally got a fight date, so it's all good now.
Is it kind of difficult at times to keep the motivation there when you haven't got that thing to aim for, because you're such a busy woman that you do so much with your life that not having that thing to aim for, other things maybe start to take a bit of priority?
Yeah, obviously I'm always in the gym, but obviously the intensity, the dieting, that side of it, unless when you haven't got a fight date, those parts of it are hard to motivate. But yeah, I've always stayed in the gym constantly, so I've always been ticking over. Yeah, just waiting for that final confirmation of a fight date so you can be fully focused into camp.
I mean, I know we've seen Cherneka over here in the UK before. Was it that card you were a part of as well?
Yeah,
Did you, at
ironically.
that point, did you think that fight was possible? Was that on your mind at all?
No, like we was having a good little chat. We were sitting next to each other at the press conference. And when we was having all the photo shoots and that. So yeah, no, like never even thought of it. We was at different weights at the time. We was on different paths. She was obviously defending her. We were both defending our world titles at different weights. So yeah, it never even occurred to me. Yeah, it was just obviously being inactive and was waiting for a fight, and then yeah, it was a fight that was offered to us, and we've always wanted the big fights, and it's a big fight. It's on a big card, so we jumped at the chance.
Shanika's obviously an experienced fighter in the pro ranks in particular. What have you seen from her that you feel you can exploit in that ring?
Um, yeah, she's a very good, nice, tidy boxer. Um, yeah, but I feel that my style will be all wrong, and yeah, we've got good game plan.
Going over halfway across the world to take this challenge, I'm sure that's something that you jumped at, but it comes with its challenges as well, I'm sure. Is
Yeah,
that
of course.
difficult in any way?
Um, no, obviously, you're going into her home country. You've obviously got, I don't know, you hope the judges are fair, but I believe in myself, and I believe that I've got what it takes to get the win. So I've just got to be confident in myself and my ability, and just make sure I perform to the best of my ability.
Is it a concern at all about the judging?
Obviously, yeah, it does go through your head, but that part of it's taken out of my hands. So I've just got to go in and make sure that I perform and I win. And yeah, that part of it's that. I mean, it can happen anywhere, so it's taken out of your hands anyway, wherever you box.
Also signing with LOU DIBELLA, I believe, was it earlier this year, a couple of months
Yeah,
back when it was all signed and sealed to sign with LOU. Really exciting stuff for yourself. How did that come about, first of all?
yeah. Obviously, he approached my team, and yeah, he said he wanted to work with us. So yeah, my manager Leon liaised with him, and yeah, we worked out a good deal, and yeah, signed a really good deal, and yeah, looking forward to what's ahead.
And I believe he has quite a few bantamweights on his roster, which would make things a little bit easier in terms of getting those fights. Because I know it is not always a case where the phone's ringing all the time, but as he's
Yeah,
got those fighters, it makes it a bit easier.
yeah, that's why it all made sense. Obviously, he's got Yoshida, he's got the IBO champion, he's got the IBF mandatory. So it just kind of all made sense that hopefully I've been chasing the unification fight for a long time now, and unfortunately that couldn't be made with Ebony. So yeah, obviously I've got to focus on my fight with Cherneka, but get that win, and hopefully the unification fights can be made next.
That fight with Ebony, I know you were previously working with Eddie Hearn. How close, if at all, was that fight?
Nowhere near. She didn't want to know, so Eddie said he can't force her to fight me, and that was that, really. So
she's taken, I think it'd be fair to say, a fairly different route to yourself since she's been in the pro ranks. How do you view the route she's taken?
I mean, however she wants to go, I just think you got to fight the best to be the best. And she always said she wanted unification fights, but then she didn't want when it come down to it, she didn't actually want any of the unification fights. So it was all talk, really. So how she wants to go about her career is up to her, but don't hold up the belt and say you want unifications if you don't.
I know another fight with Matchroom that was touted for a long time was the Shannon Courtenay fight. It's been 18 months or so since we've seen Shannon in the ring. Have you any idea what she's up to? Is that a possibility at all?
No, because she was offered, so she pulled out of our fight last June when we boxed, and then she's been offered 2 fight dates since with me when before I signed with LOU, and yeah, she turned them both down. 10 weeks notice wasn't enough, and then another date for whatever reason she couldn't make, and so yeah, give up on that idea.
Do you think both of those fights are completely out the window for the rest of your career?
Yeah, to be fair, now I've signed with LOU, there's no reason for neither of them have got a belt, so neither of them have got anything that I need or I want. So my fully focus now is beating Cherneka and then going on to unifications.
And final thing, I want to get your thoughts on the latest moves of Katie Taylor. Hopefully a second fight with Amanda Serrano. Katie Taylor's obviously got a whole host of options. If you were in her shoes, is that the one you think you'd be taking?
Yeah, obviously Serrano and Chantel are the 2 biggest fights out there. I mean, I do think a trilogy between her and Chantel has to happen. Obviously it doesn't happen next, but hopefully the fight after, as long as she wins against Serrano. But yeah, her and Serrano is also a massive fight because the first one was such a good fight. So they're the 2 biggest fights, I'd say, for Katie.
With the score at 1-1 between Chantel and Katie, I think Chantel's obviously showing a little bit of frustration that she hasn't got the trilogy fight there. Can you sympathise with that?
Yeah, of course. Like, it's 1-1. Chantel wants her belts back, so of course she's going to want to have the trilogy. And yeah, hopefully she can get the trilogy. Like, hopefully it can happen after the Serrano fight for her.
If it is signed, how would you see that third fight going between Chantel and Katie?
It's a hard one, isn't it? It's 1-1 now. It can go either way. It's got to be who performs best on the day.
All right, perfect, Nina. Really appreciate it, and best of luck when the fight date rolls around over in Oz.
Thanks a lot.